I am in the process of moving the hardcover nonfiction books to the guest room and the softcover ones to this side of the room. So all of those are softcover nonfiction books. Well, not all of them. I see a few hardcovers that need to go in the other room. But for the most part, that's what's happening. That's what I'm doing. These are all of the hardback, not all of, I have a few more, but these are where I store my hardback books. I store them here in the guest room. I also store hoodies here too. It's Nonfiction November, so I thought I would pick a couple of titles to actually read. I'm already reading two. I am reading Monsters, A Fan's Dilemma, which is so good. And I'm reading Joan Didion's A Year of Magical Thinking, which is breaking my heart. I think I'm going to choose something a little more lighthearted for when I'm finished with those other two books. Here's a stack right here, just a random stack that I was going through, and I decided to pick a book from this stack that I haven't read yet. And also, while I'm doing this, you can kind of see some of the other books that I own that I haven't read yet. But this one is really intriguing. Heads and Beds, A Reckless Memoir of Hotels, Hustles, and So-Called Hospitality. Honestly, I'm actually a little nervous to read this because either that I'm considering just happened to be on the shelf below, Where I Was From by Joan Didion. I am already, like I said, reading A Year of Magical Thinking, which it's like stabbing me in the heart, but I know I'm going to get through it. And so I may consider this one. I don't read very fast, but when I read memoirs and nonfiction, I read faster than when I read fiction. So it's possible that I could get through quite a few books. You know, I'm already kind of flying through the two that I'm reading now, and it's already just November 2nd. These are the remaining books that I have to divide up, the hardcover versus the softcover. Here's some hardcovers that need to go into the other room. And this one is a journal, so I don't even consider it or count it, technically. And there are a few nonfiction books that I actually have read, that I read a while ago. I've got this whole shelf right here. There might be something in there that I could read now. I'm not sure. And then I have this whole section here. Again, there might be something that I'm interested in, but I'm not sure. Some of these books I've had forever, and a few of them are new. Then I also have this section. I could probably make quick work of a couple of the biographies, but I'm not sure. Okay. Since I'm already reading the Joan Didion book, I may read Grief is for the People by Sloane Crossley. I actually started this. I'll pop the actual book with the dust cover. I took the dust cover off. That's how you know I started it. I actually started it and was enjoying it, but then it got a little, it was a little much for me at the time. I don't know if the book itself was really doing that or if it was just the state of mind that I was in. So I put it down. I don't want all of my nonfiction books to be like about grief though. Because wow, that would be a lot. But that's 3 books. I'm thinking I'll pick 5 in addition to the 2 that I'm already reading. Because like I said, I read nonfiction faster than I read fiction. And if I pick my books right, I could probably do a book a week and then like a bonus book. So we're already in the first week and I'm almost done with 2. All right, let's stop here for now. And then we'll pick up later if I find something else that's really pulling me in. Okay, so I'm back in the guest room, and I think I want to try to read something like this. The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rubin. I've heard good things about this book, and I did purchase it in order to like read it. So maybe I'll put this on the list as one that I will at least start. I don't know if it's one that I'll finish. But we'll see. I don't know if I really want to read like a self-help type book or a motivational type book. I'm really into biographies, you know, and I'm thinking like, no, I really want to read another biography. And there are a couple that I have. I have Madison Beer, the half of it, which I feel like I could read pretty quickly. So maybe I'll pull this. And it's something that's different from what I normally read. And then Justine, an analog memoir. I'll thumb through this and see if it's one that I pick. I've also been interested in reading The Warmth of Other Suns, but y'all, this is a thick old book, and I don't know that it's gonna pull me in where I can read it within the month. This one is newer. I shouldn't be telling you this, by Chelsea Devantez. I actually have been wanting to read this one for a while, and it's supposed to be pretty funny. So I'm going to pull these and the other three, I think, that I have in the other room. And I think this is where I will start. So I feel like this is a good, like, a group of books to pick from. They're all a little bit different, but they're all nonfiction. So that's good. Don't mind those shoes down there. I'm experimenting with something. But yeah, I think this is a good place to start. So yeah, I think that that's a good list of books. Let's bring them all together. My SD card was full on my other camera, so I'm using my phone. And if the quality is different, that's why. But let's just look at some books that I chose. I'm not going to call them my Nonfiction November TBR because this is ambitious, especially for me. But I will say this is a selection of nonfiction books that I can create a TBR from. Let's do it like that. So I'll very quickly tell you what these are about. I mentioned Monsters, A Fan's Dilemma by Claire Dederer. This is about the people who create the art that we love, but they are not the best people. And it is about trying to separate the art from the artist. Can you actually do it? Should you? Do you have to? She doesn't give, so far I'm about halfway through the book. She does not give any definitive answers to this question. She's struggling with the question herself. But it is a great read, and it's kind of nice to examine this with someone who doesn't have the answers. She just wants to have the discussion. I like that. Then I'm also reading The Year of Magical Thinking. I'm about a third of the way into this book. I actually picked this book up, wanting to say a year ago, maybe 2 now, and started it and had to put it down. But I decided I wanted to get through it. I would like to read more of Joan Didion's work. As you saw, we also have another Joan Didion book too. This is makeup, by the way, on my books. I love these little white books and how crisp and clean they are, but I'm probably the wrong person to own them because I will get makeup or something on them at some point. But the way that I treat books, they're like prized possessions that I've had forever, and they get dog-eared and worn, and the more dog-eared and worn and written in that they are, that means that I really loved the book. So there you go. Maybe I will really love this one. A Year of Magical Thinking is about the year that Joan Didion lost both her husband, John Donne, and her daughter, Quintana. And we are examining her grief. That is where I am right now. She's examining her grief. Joan Didion, her writing references a lot of other writers and poets and scientific journals and things like that. So when you're reading her books, you're almost getting like a course in grief. When you're reading this book anyway. I can't say all of her books because this is the first one I've ever actually read. But while reading this book, I'm getting a course, maybe a crash course, I guess, in grief. And it is hard. It's hard, but it's good because it has confirmed some of the things that I have felt when I've lost someone. So I have not lost a child or a husband, but I have lost both parents and all of my siblings that I was close to, and my aunts and uncles. So I do have some experience with grief, and I think that's why this hits me so hard. Okay, I picked this book. I love books about hotels, and it's so funny because Emmy, she's another booktuber. She also loves books about hotels, and I have gotten a couple of recommendations from her that eventually I would like to read. And I saw this one. I don't know how long I've had this book, to be very honest with you. But like I said, I travel a lot. I go to hotels. I find hotels intriguing. This one was written in 2012. The author is Jacob Tomsky, A Reckless Memoir of Hotels, Hustles, and So-Called Hospitality. Like, I don't know. I just am really intrigued by this book. So this one would be perfect for me to read, although I have a feeling that it might gross me out a little bit. I also am in love with this cover. Like, I wish that I had this in hardback because I am in love with this cover. I shouldn't be telling you this, but I'm going to anyway. Chelsea Devantez. I am really intrigued because it threatens to be a funny book. That's Chelsea. She's cute. She looks really familiar. But she is, as you can see, for those who can only hear me and are not reading, she's an Emmy Award nominated writer, comedian, director, and host of the podcast Glamorous Trash. And then, of course, there's some of her other accolades and things about her. It just seems like it's going to be a really good book. And I can't wait to read it. I love the cover on this one as well. I really do. So we'll see. Justine, an analog memoir. To be honest, this may be the book that I might not get to by the end, but I might. There's a lot of pictures, so maybe I will, right? But she is, as far as I know, exploring technology, and she's like a tech geek. She has had like virality on social media. I find it intriguing. I don't really know what it's about. But she's an actress, a producer. She looks really familiar. I don't know. I'm intrigued. It's an autobiography though. I'm nosy. I want to be in people's business. So there you go. Madison beer. When I bought this, that's coffee, y'all. And I actually caught it on camera when I spilled it. My feelings were so hurt. I never posted it though. But Madison Beer is a singer and songwriter who I had not heard of until I picked up this book. And I don't know what made me buy it. I read the dust jacket, but I don't remember what made me like definitively decide like, oh, I think I want to read this. But I don't know. I think it just looks interesting. So I will check it out. This book, I skipped one. Grief is for the People. I already started. And the way that it starts off, I really think I'm going to enjoy it. Don't let me keep you in denial. I love how she starts it off. All burglaries are alike, but every burglary is uninsured in its own way. And then she talks about a burglary that took place. And I just like the way that she writes very conversationally. And I noticed that when I first bought the book. And like I said, I started it, but it got a little too intense for me, so I had to like put it down. And like I said, it was more my frame of mind at the time, not the book itself. So this is definitely one that I do want to visit. And then The Creative Act, A Way of Being. As a creative, as someone who probably should be painting right now, I've heard good things about this. It is more self-help like. It's more motivational. I don't know that I will get through it before the end of the month, but I don't know. Some of these pages look like they don't have a lot of words, so it's possible. And it does look like it reads pretty snappily. Oh, look, and there's no pages. Sweet. So yeah, we'll see. So this is what I've picked. And there's no rhyme or reason to it, but I will say I do enjoy me some good nonfiction at times. Kind of the way that I enjoy YouTube videos. It is just a thing that I enjoy. I enjoy glimpses into people's lives. So memoirs and autobiographies are always going to be my subgenre of choice when it comes to nonfiction. But I can get with a good motivational book from time to time. And pretty much all of the rest besides this one and this one, the monsters book, pretty much all the rest are autobiographical in some way. Right, that's it. This may have been the most intriguing video if you really like talking about books, or the most boring video ever. Either way, if you like it, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you're planning on reading for Nonfiction November, if you plan on reading for Nonfiction November. And the Nonfiction November challenge was started by a Book Olive at a Book Olive on YouTube. I'll link her handle. She's been doing this for years. I just so happen to love nonfiction and memoirs in particular. I have never been a part of the challenge or done the challenge. I just kind of read what I read. But this year I decided that I would go ahead and do the nonfiction stuff for November. It is still very warm here. I have some dark academia and some more fall-like books that I want to read in the fall, but it's not fall enough quite yet for me. But by the time November is over, it might be. So in the meantime, I'll be trying to pull from these books, but you never know. If it starts to get dark and windy and, I see leaves flying by my window and the temperatures drop, I might pull out something that's way more like fall-like. In any case, this is what I'm pulling from right now. As with every TBR that I've had, it is subject to change on a dime. All right, I'm done. See you in the next one.